Hi, Amy at Fashion Toppings here with a sewing project. This is quick and easy, and it's also a great idea for a gift. I got this idea actually as a request. This is a requested video from my Fashion Toppings Facebook page. Susie gave me the suggestion. She wanted to see a towel robe being made. And it is really easy to make these. Now we're going to be making them. I'm using a white towel, 1 inch thick elastic, some Velcro, and I'm going to embellish mine with my initials and some ribbon, but it's really easy. Now, if you're making this for a female, you're going to be making it to go around the bust. We're going to be making one of these robes that will have elastic along the top and then a closure. Now, if you're making it for a man, men aren't going to wear the dress portion of it. You're going to make it so it goes around their waist. So we're going to go ahead and make these, and thank you, Susie, for the suggestion. First thing is make sure the towel fits all the way around you. Second, I can't believe how easy this is. We're going to take the top portion, the portion that's going to be up by our bust, and keep in mind where your tags are so you know what the inside of your towel should be and what the outside of the towel should be. So the tag, if you don't want to remove the tag is actually going to be the inside of your robe. So, okay, with the wrong side of the towel, see the tags right there? With the wrong side of the towel facing out, I'm going to fold the channel along the whole top. Now my elastic is 1 inch wide. So I need to make sure my channel is wider. So I'm going to go about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. There we go. Get my pins and pin. And we're going to do that all the way along this top side. So let me go ahead and pin this. Okay, so I have it all pinned all the way down the length of my towel, creating my channel. So this is going to be really easy. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, leaving this end open. I'm just going to sew a straight stitch all the way down this entire channel to the other end of the towel. And I'll be right back. Okay, I know this is going to be hard to see because the light is on the white really bounces off, so it's hard to get a clear view of this. But what you're going to do is, see, here's my fold, the bottom of the channel. I put my presser foot right on the edge of the fold, and I'm just going to do a straight stitch. And if you want to do a zigzag stitch, you can. It really doesn't matter either way. Zigzag stitch, if you have a really thick towel, might be a little bit stronger, but I just like the looks of a straight stitch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fix my stitch first, or back stitch if you have. Now, since we have all of this thick part back here, I didn't start right there. It's hard to get my needle through that. So I'm going to back stitch over to get over that, nice and slow. I just don't like to start on the thick stuff because I think it's more difficult. So I started farther in and backed up. Hopefully you saw what I did. So since this was so thick, I didn't want to start here. I started farther up, and then I just reversed back. And now I'm going forwards again. So I'm going to go the whole distance of the towel. Since the material is thick, you're going to have to help it by gently, see how I'm doing this with my hand right here? I'm gently pulling just to help so your machine doesn't have to work so hard. Because double thickness of a towel is a lot of fabric to go through. Oh, and I'm also using a denim needle just for the strength. Now that I have my channel sewn in, see it's hard to see with the white, but I have a pretty thick channel. So now the next step. Next you're going to take elastic, wrap it around where your towel is going to go. Make sure it's, snug but not too snug, but snug enough to where your towel is not going to slide down. Okay, and right there. Let's save that for later. So I have my one piece of elastic, and what I'm going to want to do is get my safety pins. You have to have your safety pins. Put a safety pin on one side, and then you're going to want to put a safety pin on the other side as well, and I'll show you why. First of all, we're going to start feeding the elastic through the channel. Okay, so I use a really big safety pin so I can feel it through all this terry cloth, because this thick material is not easy to guide the safety pin through. Okay, I'm going to keep working this elastic through that channel. Okay, as I'm feeding it through, my end that I'm still feeding it through, but see, I'm running out of elastic on the other end. This is why we use 2 safety pins. So now I want to make sure that this elastic doesn't start disappearing in here and then I have to start all over. So a second safety pin is so that I can pin it, so I can anchor it. See, I'm just anchoring that elastic. I know white on white is terrible. So I'm just anchoring that little tiny piece of elastic. I'm anchoring it to the opening here. So as I'm still feeding, I still have quite a ways to go. So as I'm feeding this elastic through, and if I'm not paying attention, I wouldn't have noticed that I pulled the elastic into the casing, and I didn't have the other end still available. So make sure you anchor the other end as you go, so that it doesn't disappear in the channel, because then you're starting all over. Believe me, that's from experience that I've learned to do that one. I don't know how many times I've accidentally pulled elastic through a casing and then had to go searching for it. So I have the elastic strung through. You can see where we're going with this. Recognize these? Okay, this end is already anchored with the safety pin. So now that I just pulled this one out, I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine. Oops, peekaboo. I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to take this pin out, hold on to it tightly, and I'm going to safety pin it, or straight pin it, so it stays in place while I'm sewing. Okay, so now I'm just going to sew along this end to sandwich that elastic and the opening of my channel. It'll close it. So I'm going to do a straight stitch, but I'm going to do several of them. I'm going to go forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, probably 4 times, just so that I know that elastic will not come loose. So I'm just going to take this and go sandwich it with a straight stitch or a zigzag, whichever you want to do. I'm just going to go back and forth over that opening, catching that elastic in there and closing this hole, and that will keep my elastic in place. Once I've done it to this side, remember we already have this side anchored with the safety pin. We're going to do the same thing to that side. We're just going to stitch this shut right over the elastic so that both elastic ends are nice and tight and secured right here on our openings. So I'm going to do my straight stitch real quick. Okay, my elastic is now captured in there. I did my back and forth stitch to catch it. So look where we're at right now. We're on the home stretch. Now, put it on. Use my little mannequin. And we have to decide where our Velcro is going to go. There. So I'm going to put one piece of Velcro on the top here, one square of Velcro right here, and then one square of Velcro right here. Now, if you don't trust Velcro, you can always do the big hook and eyes. They have hook and eye closures. Actually, I have one on my skirt. I can show you. If you prefer not to do Velcro, here's an example of something you can do. You can buy, this is from that yard sale dress, you can buy these little hook and eye closures, and you can just put a hook on one side, the eye on the other, and there. Your row will be secure. So you can do a hook and eye if you want to, but I'm using all materials that I have already around the house. So I didn't want to go buy anything. So I'm using leftover Velcro from when I made my dogs, sweaters. So I'm just using the leftover Velcro. So along my elastic up here, I am going to put some elastic. So I'm deciding how big of elastic piece I want. So I'm doing, it's almost 2 inches of elastic. So I can get them apart. There we go. Okay, pulling my material nice and flat because you know it's all bunched because we have elastic in there. Pulling it nice and flat, and I'm going to put the elastic on here. Okay. So just remember, double check before you sew anything permanent to make sure you have everything hooked on right. So this is on the front. Now, in order for it to close, I need to put one on the inside. See? So I'm going to attach one on the inside on this side. Okay, so I have them pinned on. Now is the test. This hair is driving me crazy. Okay, so here's the test. I'm going to put it on. And make sure that you have it on correctly. See how it's going to look? So easy. Okay. There we go. So now, I'm going to take this to the sewing machine. Okay, since I'm using a denim needle, it's strong enough to go through all of this. So I'm going to make sure my material is nice and flat. A lot of fabric to go through. Take my pin out. I'm just going to hold it into place. Make sure my thread is out behind. Put my foot down. There we go. Fixed stitch. Now with Velcro, you need to go very slow. Otherwise, you take the chance of breaking your needle. Okay, I wish I can get you closer here. Okay, once you get to a corner, just drop your needle down. Make sure your needles drop down. Turn your fabric. Go slow. We're making this square. Okay, drop my needle. Turn my fabric again. And continue to follow along the edge of the elastic. Okay, I'm at the end. Drop my needle. And just because how much material I have, I'm just going to go backwards. Drop my needle. Well, we've got our little robe done. Velcro is attached. And now is the time where you can have fun with it. You can do anything you want to embellish your towel. You can leave it plain, which is quick and easy, of course, and then it's more unisex for your husband and you to share it, because your husband can wear this down at his waist, or you can wear it up high for you. So what I'm going to do, you have options like you can make like bows out of ribbon and put bows on, and you can, you know, put, let's see, what else do I have? You can put some ribbon behind the fabric as a border or a trim, just top stitch over the top, catching this material. So you can do that. You can make a border going down. But I think what I'm going to do is, if I have enough ribbon, I don't like, these towels come with, I don't know if you can see this, there's a stripe right here. It's a texture. I think you can kind of see it. There you go. See that texture right there? Those 2 stripes? I don't really like that, so I want to hide it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, to hide this little stripe that's in my towel, I'm going to take enough ribbon to tuck behind. Okay. Make sure you're using, like, not gift wrapping ribbon. Make sure you're using ribbon that is meant for clothing in the notions department at your local fabric store. Make sure you ask them first. Make sure, because you want to be able to wash it. So I'm going to just pin this in a straight line. So I'm going to just take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to top stitch right on the edge of the ribbon on that side, and once again on the ribbon on this side, all the way down, just to add a little bit of color to the front of my robe. See how boring? Pop a color. Okay, we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just top stitch on both sides this ribbon straight down to hide those little stripes in my towel. So, okay, I'll be right back. Okay, well, I top stitched my ribbon on there just to give it a little color. I love how it turned out. This was not a plain white boring towel anymore. Okay, and you know how I told you, little girl, my Chloe, is always with me wherever I go. And check this out. Look at her. She's sleeping down. Hi, little girl. She's sound asleep. But I told you, she's with me wherever I go. Okay, so now that I got my ribbon on my towel, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these iron-on initials. My nickname growing up was always AJ, and that's what everybody always called me. So I'm going to add AJ onto the bottom of my towel. Then I know this one is mine. But I can't do that in here because it requires an iron, so I got to go to my laundry room. But I'm going to put AJ along the bottom here. I'm just going to iron these on real quick. So there's no sewing involved. These are just, they got glue on the back, and I just have to iron them right onto the towel. So let me go iron these on, and then I'll show you what they look like. Well, my towel robe is done. Look at, there's my initials down here. And got the black and white ribbon detail to give it a little pop of color. And sorry, I'm not trying this on for you. It's one thing my husband said. He's just like, yeah. The shower part is personal. It doesn't need to be on the internet. So we're using my little mannequin to show you how it turned out. But I love it. It's got my little initials. It's got the pretty ribbon. There's so many possibilities you can do with it. It's got the Velcro right here. So this is a quick, easy idea you can use for bridesmaids. For the day that you get ready for your wedding, all the bridesmaids can have their own little towels so that they're not wearing their bridesmaids dresses while they're getting ready. You can do this as birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, and I don't know, there's just Father's Day, Mother's Day. There's just so many possibilities, and it was so easy to make. You can literally make them in 10-15 minutes. So one thing you keep in mind, though, just make sure that the towel is the bigger towels, the ones that will go all the way around your body. And you know you can get towels in so many different sizes. Now, if you wanted to put a pocket on the front, you could just take a washcloth, a small little washcloths, and just sew it on the front. Just sew the three sides, leave the top open, and you can put a pocket on the front. I personally don't want a pocket on mine, but that's something you can do. But thanks, Susie, for putting this request in. I had a lot of fun with it, and going to be using it tomorrow morning when I take my shower and get ready for the day. So excited. Well, this is Amy of Fashion Toppings. Until next time, you have a great day.